in a bottle of rub. What's up, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me well. Hopefully you can. Hopefully there's no weird hissing in the back. You know how things be sometimes. It's your boy, MM2K, back again with another episode of Stadia Live Session featuring me, MM2K. We don't have a lot of time today to go over everything, so I'm going to give my spiel on some things, and then I'm turning it over to you during me babbling and then after me babbling as well, because this is a forum for you. I give my thoughts. I try to jumpstart it as far as what I think will be interesting conversational pieces in relations to all things Stadia, including the community. And then I like to get you guys feedback and get it on the record. That way Stadia can see that as well. And they get a better pulse of the best way to move forward, because what's next, or what's the best way forward for Stadia, or something like that in some shape, form, or fashion is actually part of the title. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's definitely do it. Now, I'm tweeting this out. If you could do us a huge favor, let everybody know that we're live. And so they can be part of the discussion. Let me do this. I want to go and tweet this out. So I did hit up Twitter. I also want to, let me see here. Let me go to, okay. About to say, I ain't never seen that before. I've never seen that one before. All right. So we're going to drop this in here. Gotta bow. All right. We're going to go back here. So we got that. Okay, let me see. What else can we do here? I think I tweeted it out to everybody that needs to see this. I know this is an odd time running, but I didn't want to go at 12 because I got to pick up my wife at 1 today. So at 12:55, this is ending cold. I don't care where we're at. This has to end cold. And then I got to go pick up my wife at 1. You know what I'm saying? Because we got some big things to take care of. I hope everybody had a great weekend. You have a good weekend? I hope you did. I had a pretty good weekend, man. He was playing a lot of. I don't want to say I played a lot of games, but I did a lot of gaming. I didn't play a whole bunch of different games, but man, I spent a lot of time gaming this weekend. More so, than I have in a long time. And that's what I've been wanting to do. And I was able to do that because my wife was being beautiful this weekend. She allowed me to catch up on all the stuff that I needed to catch up on. And then we were able to, she was able to get her thing done. My sister-in-law came in town, so she kicked it with her. I then turn off my ringer and blockaded myself from all my kids and anybody that would bother me. And I got some gaming on, man. I really did. I caught up on some stuff first, and then after I got caught up with everything late night, because normally I'm not up late night anymore. I just did a lot of gaming, a lot of Far Cry 6. A little bit of Division, and also, believe it or not, a lot of Outriders. I'm gonna talk about that though. Where you get all excited. We got to talk about that. Okay, so let me see here. New podcast alert. Okay, I think we're in a good place as far as notifying everybody that we need to notify right now. I think we're in a good spot here. Let me do this. Let me do this. One last thing, and then we can get rocking and rolling. All right. Boom. Goes the dynamite. All right. So let me see who's all in the chat. Love you, lovely people in the chat. Shout out to you. We got Victor Del Maestro. He says, hiya. Let me know how the audio is and stuff. I was messing with some things. I rearranged my setup one way where I actually had 4 monitors. I have a newer 4K monitor with HDR, a computer monitor. And I retired my old I retired my old 4K monitor. So now I'm running a special setup to where I'm able to give you guys some real good quality game captures. And then we got another Far Cry 6-1 dropping later today. And initially setting that up, I needed that monitor again, so I rearranged some things, messed with some settings, and I tried to put everything back once I get everything arranged, and I'm hoping that I didn't mess up any audio or anything. So if it doesn't sound good, let me know. All right. But who else we got in the house? We got Calvin Morgan in the house. He says, what's up? We got Mike Rolfe. He says, I'm here, my friend. Looking forward to some more views. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike, so much for coming through. Fandom Gaming in the house. What's going on? We got Zero Games for Me. He says, hi, I'm M2K in chat. The homie Christopher Torre. Hey, Chris. We're going to make sure you rap to Tommy Rocks. Because we're about to get ready for this raid at the end of the month. If you can participate, and I'm gonna talk about it in a little bit. We're about to close this thing off as far as the Old Dirty Blasters is concerned. So I want to make sure that all the lieutenants, Chris is a lieutenant in the Old Dirty Blasters clan. You know what I'm saying? And we went up a level, so now we're getting silver gear. You know what I mean? So let's do it. And I'm gonna be doing some Old Dirty Blasters gaming later today. I want to say around 3:00. You know what I mean? So definitely join us there. Yep, Victor, you're right. She'll punch me. She'll punch me this time and might do a lot worse. We got Caliber Killer in the house. He says, what's up? What else we got up in here? Okay, that's it for now. Again, tweet this out. Let everybody know that we're live. Because we got a lot to discuss. Let me do something real quick. Let me show you something. All right, so this is PNTS Network. We had our big launch last week, for those of you that didn't realize it. Here goes a new website. Real nice and swanky, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Here goes our original contributing members, whether it's with content or with articles. Jack Deslip got a fantastic article out there about why he thinks console warring is stupid. Definitely check it out. What you're gonna have to do is go to All News. It's one of our original articles that he put up there just as we were getting the structure together. But definitely check it out. Or you can just go to his page. Go to Jack Deslip's page, because all Jack's stuff is curated. He's independently contributing to it, and you can check out his bio and all that cool stuff. And you can check out the Stadia streamed hours over at Stadia Life, and you can check out his article, Console Wars Are Stupid, but that doesn't mean there's nothing at stake. Here's why I'm a Stadian. It's a fantastic article. So definitely you can check out stuff for all of our members. Let's go to Project Storm's page. You get his bio, you get all access to all of his content, all that great groovy stuff along with other members, the shows, SML podcast, for instance. You can check out all the show links, and it gives you a link to the actual audio version too. And if you want to participate when we do the show, when it comes back, if you want to leave a yappa, now you can leave a yappa directly on the SML podcast page. All right. And then there's the Old Dirty Blasters clan that I talked about. This is how you can leave your interest on joining either our Destiny 2 clan or our Division 2 clan. Borderlands 3 and Rainbow Six Siege are coming soon. You can do that there. But the thing that I really wanted to show people real quick before we got started is our giveaways page. We're about to do a giveaway, a huge giveaway, set of giveaways where we're giving away a lot of game codes. We got a lot to give out, plenty to give out, and we're going to be giving them out throughout the week. We're going to pick our first winner today. I was going to do it live on air, but I'll do it after the fact. But what you're going to want to do is anywhere where you see the Yappa app, preferably if you come here, well, if you go to the homepage, it's there too. So what you'll want to do is go to the Yappa app, leave us a Yappa, leave a Yappa comment, and then it'll play back for us. Like, here, let me do this. Let me show you how it works for those of you that are not familiar with it. This is just me testing it out. play. There it goes right there. So it's gonna play there. Yo, yo, yo. This is another test on the home page. We're seeing how this works. Yo, 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 yo. Peace. Yo, yo, yo. So that's how that works. So when you leave a yappa, we're going to play it live on air, get your response, and that makes you eligible for one of these codes that we're going to be giving out. So we're going to pick out our first winner today. We got a bunch of codes to sort through. We're going to figure out which code is going to be, and we got a bunch of responses that we're looking at as well. So don't miss out on your opportunity. I think we're going to do this like once a day, every day, until these codes are gone. We might do several codes during certain shows, like the commission is going to come back and all other stuff. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this. So go to PNTS, go to the link above where it says don't miss out on our giveaways. Go here for more info, pntsnetwork.com/PNTS-giveaways. All right. You can do it there. You can do it from the main page. Do not miss out. But a swanky new site, I wanted to show that to everybody, make sure that you were all aware that the giveaways are still active. And we got plenty. We're going to give away our first code today. Do not miss out. Also, I wanted to shout out Caring from the Cloud Stadia Super Extravaganza charity event from the homie John Scars. They had another successful week. A fantastic week of game streaming. This week you had Rock kick it off. John Scars itself followed up. Then you had Storm, Clivey Linden, Vivies. We had Scooter Rama in the house, the homie Vet. We had Stadia France in the house. This week coming up, John is going to kick it off. Stadia Pro Gaming. We got Granite T Rock. We got Ian Matisse. We got Jim. We got Meg, Megatron X. We got Ninja Guy X, and to cap it all off, who are these two guys? We got PNTS's own MM2K and individual contributor Jack Deslip. We're gonna be closing it off. I kind of got an idea of the charity that we're gonna do, but it's gonna be kidney related. Kidney disease is a big thing in our family. I've seen it strike many that we love up close and up and personal, and I've actually worked with various kidney foundations behind the scenes on doing different things. So I'm trying to. There's one in particular that I'm hopeful we can set up in enough time. That's worked directly with our family and stuff like that. But I don't know if I can get them set up. So there might be another one, but there'll be more on that when we go live this Saturday between 7 and 9. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be streaming, but we're going to have a lot of fun. I love seeing stuff like this because the stuff is great. It allows the community to get together with the content creators and have some fun. I might do something where it's like, not Stream Connect, but crowd play. I might do a crowd play game or something like that. You know what I mean? But we'll have all the information ready. And also, following up that Saturday, don't forget on the next day, Sunday, we're going to have TNSS. And I'm going to go back to PNTS Network, talk about that, and go to the giveaways. Of course, we got our 4.0 reboot giveaway and all the details during how you become eligible. We got the Stadia Dosage giveaway for this channel. So every month, I want to say around the 25th of each month, we're going to select someone that is subscribed to this channel. And you got to be subscribed. And there's other ways that you can get additional tickets. So it's a community give back thing. But you got to be a subscriber. We're going to give you either a controller, or every few months you're going to get a Stadia bundle with the YouTube with the Chromecast, with Google TV, and a controller. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of those details there. We're going to be doing this around the I'm going to say the 25th of each month. Oh, no. Ticket submissions will cease on the 23rd of each month to be tallied. So yeah, to make sure that I can tally everything, we're going to cut it off at the 23rd, and on the 25th we're going to pick a winner of each month. Okay, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that, and it tells you how you all can participate and how you can get additional tickets and get additional entries, so you don't want to miss it on that. The first drawing is going to be this 25th. All right, so starting last month when we told you that it started, all the way up until the 25th, your entries are going to be tabulated, and you'll have an opportunity to win. But don't forget that the number show for Stadia, where we do monthly giveaways each time for that show, that is going to be happening this Sunday as well. Also, as a reminder, the Old Dirty Blasters Destiny 2 registration. Come on and sign up. This is our effort to get Stadia and other platform crossplay together, more unified. Just show people that, hey, look, we're just gamers. So you're definitely going to want to go to the PNTS website, go to Old Dirty Blasters, where you can go under PNTS Plus, Old Dirty Blasters, and then you can sign up there. When you sign up there, it'll deliver you to this form where you just fill it out and let us know that you're interested, and we'll select participants based upon that. Here is the Division 2 clan registration. We're about to close it. I'm going to close it up today. So definitely be there for that. Okay. That is all of the announcements today. Also, if you want to contribute to this platform, because all this stuff is possible, here, let me go back a little bit. Let me go back to the website. Y'all remember our old website? Like, we can say it right now. I ain't gonna get mad. The truth is the truth. That website was hot garbage. It was hot garbage. But it was the best that we could do at the time. And it kept you connected to our content. And we think there was a lot of people that went to that website, believe it or not, and looked at different things. But now this is a lot cleaner. It's a lot more efficient. And then there's going to be a lot more interactivity that you can do on this as well, including the Yappa, right? So this site what we had to do is we had to move all of our content from Yola. Yola was hosting our old site. We had to move everything from Yola and move it over to WordPress, okay? And by us doing that, it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap to do this. And me and my wife, I'm open as a book. Me and my wife were buying a house, and my wife likes to put a lot of money down. When she's leasing something or renting something, she likes to put a lot of, or not renting, but, buying and whatever. You know what I'm saying? She likes to put a lot of money down. So all of my quote unquote frivolous spending had to be put to an end. Meaning, in her eyes, all my spending on this. So all the giveaways that we did and everything that we did was made possible because of y'all. Now the website enhancements did take a lot from the pot, and that's why our giveaways kind of slowed down, but they're ramping back up, and that's why we're going to do the monthly giveaways. But this is all possible because of you guys. You guys all made this possible, okay? So we appreciate it so much. And anything that is offered to the cause, definitely appreciate it. And as you can see, it's not going in no one's pockets. It's going to make this a better platform, okay? And as you can see, we're giving back. We're creating more interactivity. And this ain't the end. This is the tip of the iceberg, okay? So definitely, we appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. And anything that you can give, like if during this, if you want to hit that super chat button, it's not going in our pockets. It's going to make this platform better with content, to help us connect to more content creators, get more entertaining content on the platform, and to do stuff like this, giveaways, all that good stuff. All right. With that said, let me go back to the chat. We got Christopher Torres. He says, for sure, I'll reach out to him. Yes, brother. That'd be appreciated. And let me go back here. Let's get some gameplay on the screen. We got Windstar Kenry says, hey, y'all. Project Storm in the house. He says, yo, PNTS is in the house. Absolutely. Yes, sir. What else we got here? He says, I gotta say, what a lot of work has been put into this. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, a lot of work has been put into it. We were supposed to launch this, and Storm knows the woes. We were supposed to launch this in March. This is how cumbersome this was. This was supposed to be launched in March of this year. And the original subset that this was contracted to bounced. They rolled. They just disappeared. They said, no, this is too much. We don't want to do this. And I was like, yo, what money, money's not a thing, now that I talked to my wife about on top of what you guys were contributing, and I said, look, sweetheart, can we make a little adjustment? She said, sure, there's one and only time. So I was willing to put out more money, but we got blessed and we got other people that contributed pro bono. They helped me do some things, and then we finally got it rocking and rolling. So yeah, a lot of effort went into this. This was very painstaking and getting done, but we were not going to let your money go to waste. We were not going to let your contributions go to waste. But yeah, definitely that's what's going on. Glad as a member, Chris Torres says, and all members were able to help out. Absolutely. Bulls for Life says, what's up? Jay Smith says, good morning and happy Thanksgiving to my fellow Canadians. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to the Canadians in the house. And it's Columbus Day here too, I believe, right? All right, so let's do this. Let's talk games. And it's ironic that my good brother, he says, the stream I just completed is already up there on the site. Damn, the stream I just completed is already up there on the site. Oh, yes, sir. Here we go. That's how it works. That's how it works. It's already there. And we got some more, like I said, like I like to call it, quality stream series. We got some more Far Cry 6 coming. All right, so let's talk about it right now. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm 2K of PNTS Network. Stadia Dosage. And we got my brother Project Storm. He's in the chat. He's at PNTS Network. Stadia Dosage. Just a huge favorite. That like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells. Okay? All right, I want to deal with topic number one. I gotta type it. This is how unprepared I am. Support. And it's ironic that my brother Project Storm is here. So here goes topic number one. My epiphany. Oh, leave, brother. You gotta get better at that. Show that again. My epiphany. Ubisoft support. All right, I know I'm horrible, y'all. All right, so here goes my epiphany. So before we go live, I'm gonna put this to you. I create content with a lot of people, a lot of famous people. When I say famous, I mean like people that are well recognized within the gaming stratosphere. And I love creating content though with my brother Project Storm, because before we go live, we be having some serious all-out discussions where we're like, look, this is my stance and this is where I'm, standing by. And I always tell my brother, look, say what's on your mind. Everybody's not always gonna agree. The purpose of Stadia Dosage is to be a reflection of the community. And the community is not hive-minded. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know, Vic. It was like, you. I was trying to do the Superman. Shout out to Soldier Boy. We're not hive-minded. We have different takes on this. The only thing that creates this, that bonds us together is our enthusiasm of the platform. If you're not enthusiastic about the platform, but you play it, I don't know if I can consider you part of the Stadia community. That's just my thought. I think if you're part of any community, you gotta at least be enthusiastic about the platform. You can be disappointed in areas. You can be critical in areas. Perfect. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that you gotta love everything, but you gotta at least be enthusiastic about the platform. That's like me saying I'm part of the Xbox community. I'm not a part of the Xbox community. I'm not enthusiastic about the platform. But I got Xbox. My grandson brought me an Xbox over here because he said, Pat, when I come over, I want to play something. And he said, I know you ain't gonna let me touch your PlayStation 5. I said, you damn right. I said, if you touch that PlayStation 5, you might hear you might hear old Rusty in the back. Click clack. Don't touch my PlayStation 5. I love you. But I'll return you touch my PlayStation 5. So he brought over an old Xbox One S that he had, and it's sitting downstairs for when the kids come over and play. So shout out to him. Shout out to my grandchild Nate. He's a very thoughtful, loving child. Anyway, so I got an Xbox downstairs. I tinker with it every now and again. Am I part of the Xbox community? No, I'm not enthusiastic about it. So I'm very cautious and very cognizant of saying just because people mention Stadia or tinker with Stadia that you're part of the community. There's gotta be a reasonable level of enthusiasm of the platform. Like, I can sit here and tinker with and give my thoughts on Xbox, on how Xbox does here and does there. Doesn't mean I'm part of the community. I'm doing it because I feel like comparing things or whatever, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So just want I had to say that because I think there are times where we're losing sight of what makes a community a community. There has to be a certain level of enthusiasm there. All right. So the thing that bonds the community together is our enthusiasm. But we all don't have to like everything. And me and Storm, and I'm not saying anything behind the scenes, because with Storm, the way Storm is in front of the scenes is how he is behind the scenes. Just turn the passion level up 1,000. But he doesn't say, Storm ain't one of them fake people. He's not going to say anything behind the scenes that he's not going to say on camera. That's why I love my brother. I love creating content with him, right? Because we got that. We got that camaraderie where we're being authentic. But we'll speak our minds even before we go live. So Storm had brought up, same as he brought up on the show, that he was ultra concerned. Well, I don't want to say ultra concerned. That's me bloviating. He was very concerned with the state of output coming from Stadia. And he can correct me where I'm wrong in the chat. He was like, it's time for Stadia to release the crack, right? And me and Pete were more like on the realm of, yeah, we're also disappointed at the output. But Pete was like, it doesn't bother me right now because I know what Stadia is and I got other stuff that I can hop on. And I was more like in the avenue of, well, Stadia's hands are tied and they really can't do too much about it. And then I switched around my computers and got things set up to do this quality stream series, right? And I already told you guys that I played a lot of Far Cry 6, but it wasn't on Stadia. And that's me. And again, but I saw a lot of people enjoying Far Cry 6 on Stadia, and I was excited because they didn't have to get a next-gen console in order to enjoy it. They didn't have to spend a whole bunch of money or wait in lines and all that other stuff. And they ain't got to worry about downloads and all this other crap. They get to hop in the game and they get to take it with them wherever they want. You know what I mean? And they enjoy the performance. It's a sharp image. I got footage up. I was really impressed. I think, as I compare Far Cry on my 3070 to what I was getting on Stadia, I would say that the settings are like high to high medium, high medium high to high medium. No. Let me go back. Medium high to high. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some instances to where things might look a little less sharp or a little muddy, but we all know the Stadia tech. They've already talked about that in the blog where, the immediate setting in front of you might be the highest resolution, but as you look into the distance, things are lesser resolution, and that helps with performance and stuff like that. Kind of like what is that, VRS or whatever that is, variable rate, something that's now on consoles and stuff like that. They kind of do something similar to that. Stadia's doing that as well. And that's why in previous games where you look out in the distance, it looks blurry, muddy. The biggest game that comes to mind in that fashion would be Ghost Recon Breakpoint, the older one. This newer one looks so much better than the old one, and I love playing it on Stadia. That being said, before the latest enhancements, it was a blurry mess when you looked out in the distances, right? But I was very impressed by what I saw from Stadia in the image that I was playing. So, but I said, I gotta play in 60 frames per second, right? So I'm playing it on PC, and like I said, I'm noticing the image quality on Stadia opposed to my 3070 PC. I got 30 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of RAM, I believe it is. I mean, I went and got a whole new processor. I got an i9, and you know, I mean, this thing is beefy as hell, right? Y'all saw this. Y'all saw the images, but then I'm looking at Stadia, and I'm like, this ain't that far off of what I would expect from a free 99 platform. And then I goes back to Stadia to record some more footage, and I'm pausing the screen. And as I'm pausing the screen on Stadia at times, when I'm not moving, I'm noticing the sway of the leaves and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the image, and I'm like, hold on. In certain instances, when I pause this is 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second. And then, in preparation for talking to you guys this week, and just news in general, articles that I was thinking about writing and other content for the shows, I'm looking back over content that my brother Storm showed me, where, you know, there's the new 540 chips that are out there. And those are likely the chips that Stadia is going to upgrade to. I believe there's going to be an upgrade, but those are the chips that they likely upgrade to. I don't think that Stadia mentioned upgrading to 8K 120 and completely scrapped it. The rollout plans may have changed, but I don't think that they scrapped it. So yeah, I believe that those 540 chips that are now out there are the ones that they're going to upgrade to. Then we already got word of new software-based ray tracing that's already been implemented in Metro, I think. That's, you know, doable on this, not the 540 APUs, but the current APUs that are in the server blades of Stadia right now. I'm looking at a multitude of things. And then what really did it, shout out to these brothers. Shout out to, they do great. This is why I say there's a difference between talking about Stadia and being part of the Stadia community. Like, I could be on Twitter talking about Stadia, but if I'm dogging it, more often than not, am I really part of the community? I'm in a DM where I go back and forth with people you would think that they had an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend named Stadia that did them wrong. The way that they bring up Stadia all the time. Like, it's crazy. I'm going back and forth with them all the time. So mere words and mere actions don't make you part of the community. Because there's a lot of people that hate Stadia that talk about it more than we do. I interact with people like that all the time. But what I love about this community is that the people that are actually part of the community, those that are enthusiastic about the platform, that have criticisms, think smart, and they think in a smart fashion, and they think wisely. And two of those people are Bill and Lloyd of Nerdnest. I often refer to them, and you know, I really urge that, along with our PNTS content, that if you're curious about anything Stadia, that you definitely tune into those guys as well. So the latest episode of Stadia Cast that aired yesterday, they talked about this. They talked about the fact that, hey, even though I'm fine with Far Cry 6's performance, we are not going to slight and overlook that there are the tech enthusiasts, the people that have been here at the beginning with us, that really, are staunch about 60 frames per second for their reasons. They said they're not our reasons, but they're their reasons, and we're going to respect that. They've been here since the beginning with us, so we're no better than them. They are no better than us. They are part of the community, and they should be heard and respected. And they, in so many words, asked the questions. Is it time for Stadia to upgrade? Right? Like, I'm just seeing certain things happening. And I get where we had Mantis Games on here. And shout out to Stadia Source as well. Man, Stadia Source brought them up. I mean, they interviewed them as well. And we actually had them on this channel. Where they said in both places, oh yeah, we've seen the faster, better performing tech. But Stadia gotta want to put it out there. And maybe they don't feel like it's worth putting it out there right now. But then, in listening to StadiaCast last night, and looking at all of the Vulcan tech that's being released in the news daily, and then seeing what I saw with my own eyes, the quality of the stream and of the visualization on Stadia opposed to my 3070. I'm not saying that they're neck and neck, but it looks pretty damn good. And the fact that when I pause my screen, I see 60 frames per second at times. Not all the time, at times. I'm looking at the leaves and stuff swaying. I'm like, no, that's 60 frames per second. It begs me to wonder, is it not the hardware at all, but just the fact that people are not optimizing it? And could it be, now I brought this question up before, but here's the nuance part of it. Could it be that it's not as black and white MM2K as, and shout out to Nerdnest for bringing for highlighting this, and I should know better than this. It's a disappointment. I can admit when I'm wrong. But could it be that during a pandemic and during a time where game development costs so much, and you got investors and stuff like that are involved that really want to see you making smart decisions and making lean decisions doing this and really taking advantage of where the money cash cows are at right now? Could it just be too cumbersome? Not necessarily because of the tech, but because of the effort. Could it be too cumbersome for Ubisoft to say, we're going to take 4 or 5 devs from the Xbox portion and put them on Stadia? And an investor's going to look and say, well, hold on. How much is Stadia making for you? Oh, Stadia represents 1 to 5% of our business. And you're pulling what? I know better than this because I'm in the Fortune 500 world. I know how things work. I knew better than that. But the gamer side of me took over. Now, I still think it's reasonable for us to go to Ubisoft and ask questions to confirm if it's the effort opposed to the dollars. But we got to keep it real. I use the Xbox One X as an example. And as I say to so many people at the flip of a switch, I got to say it to myself. I got to admit when I'm wrong. That was a false equivalence. Why was that a false equivalence? Because the Xbox One X keeps the lights on, or the Xbox keeps the lights on. They're selling tens of millions of consoles. So you do have a interest in putting a little bit more effort into a platform like that. Where Stadia is so small right now. So even if you want to, you got to justify it to your investors. When you're a Fortune 500 company, or when you're a company that operates in that area, there are a lot of things that you want to do that you're just not going to get approval of from your board and all. You're not going to get approval on it. And I think Nerdness had hit that, and it woke me up out of my slumber. So I got to give my bro Project Storm his flowers for when he said, I'm not boycotting Ubisoft. He said, I'm just going to go where it plays better. And he was right in that sense. So it's not as black and white as in, let's grab the pitchfork and find who to blame. This is a very complicated situation. It's not only complicated for Stadia, who really is not in a position to say, you better provide this or else. 99 times out of 100, developers are going to say, okay, well, we select else. You know what I'm saying? Because we can make a lot more money elsewhere. And you can't write a check big enough to supplement the DLC and the residual income that we get elsewhere. This is what people don't realize. This is the investor side of me talking. So it's not black and white for Stadia, but it also isn't black and white for the developers who are operating during COVID. A lot of things have been shut down during COVID, and their investors are watching them like a hawk with two monocles, not just one, two monocles and a magnifying lens through a scope, through a telescope. So you then got to ask yourself, is the solution as simple as going to just one party and telling them you got to do better? And I'm going to say no. It's a lot more. It's the growing pains of dealing with this platform. But I think the biggest lesson to be learned, regardless of where you fall on this, is don't torture yourself. Enjoy other experiences. If I can get my 60 frames per second and I get the quality stream that I normally get from Stadia, I'm playing said game on Stadia first. I'm even willing to wait for a lot of games to come to Stadia before I even think about touching them. That's how much I enjoy and love Stadia. However, there are those instances to where I got to play your day one, or what Stadia is offering because of these complicated circumstances. It may not be their fault, but the gamer in me, I still got to play the game. So it's just unfortunate that I can't opine there. So I might have to purchase said game elsewhere and play it elsewhere. Now, thankfully for Stadia, this is Ubisoft Plus that we're talking about. So even if I don't play it on Stadia, I'm not sure if there's a Ubisoft Plus reward system, kind of like Stadia Pro, where every time someone clicks on said game, what Ubisoft says is, hey, look, because this is a Ubisoft Plus subscriber and they're playing this on Stadia, this is how much we're going to give you. I don't know if that birthed the Stadia Pro incentive. That could be the incentive that Ubisoft is working with Stadia and Amazon. They could, that extra $3 that they're going to be charging people, they could be saying, okay, 80% of this $3 is going to go to you based upon how many clicks people put on your particular platform for an Ubisoft Plus title, if they're subscribed to Ubisoft Plus. So maybe me not playing on Stadia does hurt Stadia. However, that's where the people at Stadia have to put on their big hats, their big pants, and their big dresses, or whatever it is. And they got to get it together to meet that demand, if that's money that they're losing out on. You know what I mean? That in particular, is well beyond my scope as a content creator / influencer, whatever the hell you want to call me. Yes, I get that there's grassroots marketing for Stadia, and I'm gonna do that all day, every day, because it's effective and it works. And I love this platform, and I think there's a lot of muck out there and a lot of misinformation in regards to this platform that I want to combat. So yes, I'm all for it. But if you simply don't have the product in a place that can help you get maximize return, that's out of my scope. That's where your execs got to earn their big bucks, and they got to figure it out. What are they going to do? And we're going to talk about that on flip side. That's going to be topic number 2. What Stadia should do next in those situations. But I've had an epiphany. I got to give my flowers first and foremost to my brother Project Storm. I got to give flowers to Nerd Nest, and I got to give flowers just to my eyeballs, just observing things and saying, hold on. Like, this could be better. But let me look at this more in depth. I know better than this. And it's not as black and white as we've made it. All right. And I've made it. And I've made a mistake in doing so. So now I'm correcting that mistake. All right, so let's do this. Let's work our way back. Let's go to the chat. Zero Games for me says, after playing Far Cry 5 at 30 frames per second for 50 hours, I'm getting used to it. I might even choose to play 6 on Stadia also. Yeah, Zero Games for me. I will say this. I get where you're coming from. When I first played it, it was torture. When I say it, I mean 6. When I first played 6, it was torture. It was burning my eyes. And you'll notice in the video, if you remember, that I'm like stopping and I'm doing different stuff. Now, I gotta be honest with you. That's me trying to kill time because my eyes were just hurting. But after some time, excuse me, things went on and I started getting used to it. But I wouldn't say that I was comfortable. I was getting used to it, but I wasn't comfortable. So even though now I can see myself being able to play Far Cry 30 frames per second, I said, all right, I've experienced, now I've gotten used to it, but it's not comfortable. Now I'm gonna go to, I still gonna go to the 60 frames per second. You know what I mean? Jake718, I want to address something that, Victor was, okay, he says, I already know what Stadia needs to do next, communicate. You know what, Victor? I'm gonna say that they do need to get better in communication. And I know that's the big thing that you pivot off of, but I don't think that's the answer. You just gotta produce. You gotta put stuff in people's hands. See, I don't care. See, this is the thing. As someone that's been on Xbox damn well since the very beginning, and seeing their most effective, the best that the fanfare had to offer. A lot of people say, the best that the fanfare has to offer is right now. No, you got a lot of journalists and you got a lot of journos and whoever that are, Game Pass, woo! But when you look at the numbers, the gap between Xbox and PlayStation are getting wider and wider right now. And PlayStation can be silent, have all these journos write about them, and all they do is one show and everything reverses. It's like a complete 180. That's because when it comes to these premier platforms, you gotta have the influential titles in order to win the day. And that's where Xbox is struggling. I think when 2023 hits and they get those influential titles, possibly things might change. 2022, I don't know. We're gonna see how Starfield does. Nobody knows what it is, so I can't cap for it. But as someone that has saw what communication does for Xbox, yes, you talked about, but it's not closing the gap. People in PlayStation and Stadia in a lot of ways are equal in their communication. It's just that PlayStation has more to show. If Stadia had PlayStation's catalog of games, they would be more out there as well. But they don't. So they're quiet until they build up that catalog. And when I say catalog, I mean, they're getting more games more routinely. So the more quieter company is winning the day. Even Nintendo. The most quietest company, I would say, is Nintendo. And they're selling the most. PlayStation is making the most money right now. The Switch is selling the most units. The most vocal company, Xbox, is in last place. So I think to win the day, you gotta put stuff in people's hands. That's what it's about at the end of the day. Communication is important. I'm not saying that communication doesn't help, but communication is only a catalyst to the more important thing, which is putting stuff in people's hands. And I think we're approaching that time where we might need to see a little bit more effort from Stadia to ensure the best way that they can possibly that we're getting a performance mode on every game. We're getting a 4K mode on every game, if they're not both together. You know what I'm saying? Along with us getting more games. And we're going to talk about that in the second part. But that's how I look at it, Victor. I think it's important, but the more important thing is getting stuff in people's hands. Mike Wolf says, I hardly ever play on Chrome, always 4K TV and game mode. Yeah, I play pretty much exclusively on Chrome, and then I play on my phone. And the reason why I do that, Mike, which you might want to try, is, not saying that you haven't ever tried it, but if you don't do it regularly, you probably you probably don't have the latest iteration of it. But you definitely want to check out Stadia Enhanced. My God, especially the latest release of it. Hey, do me a favor. Look, we got our first poll. We got our first poll for today. Do you think the latest... Oh, hold on. Come on. Do you think the latest version of Stadia Enhanced is awesome? And then we're going to say yes, no. We're going to add an option. Don't... let me see. Not sure, or not sure. Haven't tried. Okay. That version of Stadia Enhanced is awesome. And Mike, I highly suggest that you try. If you're not a member, this is my suggestion to you. Go to, just for 1 month, because we're going to have a lot of content out there. Go to Stadia Dosage News right here. Become a member at the prescription level. That's the $4.99 tier. And check out our Stadia Far Cry 6 video. And check out our other videos as a member where we're playing. But definitely the Far Cry 6 and Division. No, I didn't do a Division 2 one yet, but I'm gonna do one. Far Cry 6 is our first video that we recorded under the Stadia Enhanced, the newest version of Stadia Enhanced, where you can do additional post-processing like the sharpness and the brightness. Oh my God. So that's why it's because of those plugins and the versatility there of why, especially PWA, why I'm exclusively on the Chrome browser, unless I'm in the living room playing, and that's where my Google TV is, or I'm in the bedroom where my CCU is. That's the order in which I play. So I definitely urge giving it a shot. Project Storm says Chrome beta is my go-to with the newer updates for. Yeah, and you know what? I used to be like that, but Chrome beta started giving me problems, Storm. Like, I can't get, for some god-awful reason, and it happened during the summer last year. Like, I want to say July, no. Maybe like August or September last year, so maybe the fall. Some point in time, I could not get Division 2 to get into 4K 60 mode. Like, the highest it would go is 1440 on Chrome. So I had to ditch it after that. Stadia Enhance isn't required on CCU or GTV, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that it doesn't look good. Well, Stadia Enhance, it only works on Chrome. It only works on the Chrome browser. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people prefer Chrome and playing on, I mean, not Chrome, they prefer the Google TV and the CCU because they get better fidelity. And I'm here to tell you that fidelity on the CCU and Google TV is put to the test if you play on the Chrome browser and you got Stadia Enhanced. What I will say is that you are missing out on the HDR component, but HDR and Stadia is like hit or miss. It's like real spotty for me. So, I mean, if you can, you know, if HDR isn't the tell-all be-all for you on Stadia, just give it a try. Really, just give it a try. That's my suggestion. Especially with this latest enhancement, give it a try. Your mind will be blown. Jinx718 says, I'm sure Google's already working on ways to enhance Stadia. And I believe that too, Jinx. I just think that we've already confirmed it via valid sources behind the scenes, and valid sources on air. Again, we had Mantis Games on here, and they've said that they've seen it. They've seen the better performing stuff. It's just a matter of when Google feels like that it's time. It's two things. Why I said this is complicated. It's Google has to feel like, holy cow, it's 12:53. Google has to feel like that it's worth bringing it out, for one. And then for two, Google has to feel like that people will actually give it effort. Even though I said Xbox One X is a false equivalent as far as a sign of devs just snuffing Stadia. I don't want to say it's a snuff. I mean, they got to put, like, this is crunch time, and they got to put resources on what's going to keep the lights on. But it is an equal comparative measure on effort. Period. Like, if they bring out Gen 2.0, are developers going to put their resources on it to really optimize the game for it? I mean, I'm making the argument today that the current hardware is enough for us to get better than what we're getting. So if that is the case, what makes you think that Gen 2.0 is going to be any different? And that's where you are going to look at the Xbox One X and look at where people was like, well, people did that for another reason, but people didn't put the effort there. If they didn't put the effort for the Xbox One X, what do you think they're going to do for Stadia? Okay. And Xbox was keeping the lights on for a lot of people, even though they were being heavily beat by PlayStation. But, you know, Xbox was making a lot of money for people. All right, here's the last thing that I want to talk about. And I got to roll. That time just flew. What Stadia needs next? Here's what I'm doing if I'm Stadia. And again, I'm not saying that it's simple to do this, but here's something that I would like to see rather. And you guys give me your thoughts. I'll be quick about this. I think the problem that we're seeing in effort again is because Stadia is not making money. Now we get it. At some point in time, YouTube is going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at this, and you're going to really see this thing transform, I feel. However, we're kind of like at a certain stage right now in between milestones. To get to the next milestone quicker, you have to get more people on board. If you get more people on board, it's more likely when the developers are going to want to do more stuff. And I don't think you have to get every single game and get people in order to get people on board. You can still go at this pace that you're going as far as games are working to get them. But here's what I would guarantee. I would guarantee that with two of the biggest publishers in the world, that you guarantee people that they're going to get the best game experience that they can in the cloud or pretty much on any screen. So at the very least, I would open up those new server blades, starting with Ubisoft and EA. And I would work with those two in particular to ensure that all Ubisoft games, all EA games are comparable to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, the best way that you can. Even if they're a step below, we should start seeing fidelity and performance close to them on these newer server blades. I would ensure that for EA games and for Ubisoft plus any Ubisoft game. You continue to work and Continuum to get other games on here, to get the Biomutants or whatever else is out there. But you double down on those two developers because those are two of the biggest publishers in the world. And your advertisement stick or your product placement is play your favorite Ubisoft, EA games on any screen with the best all-around fidelity regardless of screen. If you do that, and you can say that's either your TV, your PC, or your mobile, you're going to get that same great fidelity all the way around. And if you do that, you then get people that are thinking about saving up their pennies for a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X to in turn say, well, hell, why not go get a Google TV for $45? And because if all I play is EA games, which a lot of people play, and if all I play is Ubisoft games, which a lot of people play, I'm gonna go ahead and get those. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy it there. When I backed my brothers up against the wall, even those that are hardcore PC gamers, they said, ooh, I like what I'm seeing with Stadia. Now I can take Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's taking up space on my PC and play it on Stadia. These are people that were doing nothing but dogging Stadia until I forced them to play it. I'm gonna get in trouble. My wife is gonna kick my ass, but we just gotta do what we gotta do here. Y'all see what I'm saying? So the faster we get more people on here, I'm not saying that Stadia doesn't get, this is not canoe talk. This is not me saying if Stadia doesn't get people on there ASAP, they're in trouble. No, what I'm saying is if we want to alleviate this effort gap Hashtag effort gap. If we want to alleviate this effort gap that we're seeing in this complicated situation between Stadia and the devs, there's got to be more people on here. Stadia can't just write a check and make this go away, because they can't write a check big enough to equate to the residual income that they get from the premier platforms. So we got to get people over, and the way we get people over here is let's appeal to the casuals more rapidly. And how do we do that? We go and we make this try to make this one of the most appealing places to play Ubisoft and EA. We already see the EA games performing well here, and that's a big casual affair. And we know people love Ubisoft games. And what we do as well is, again, because we're doubling down on EA and Ubisoft is already working towards this, but we ensure that all the games are cross-platform, cross-progression. At least with the EA games, make sure that they're cross-platform with PC. And that might lead to a situation where we see EA Origins on Stadia or an EA channel or whatever. But I'm doubling down. Most of my new techs, my specialists, they're coming to those two developers, and we're putting a lot of money into building a high-end partnership with them. And we're cultivating those relationships. Because here's the thing. Let's look at Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 really helped put Stadia on the map. It's just unfortunately that it got dogged out altogether because of how it performed elsewhere. But can you imagine if people liked the game and let's just say it performed well on Stadia along with the PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, and it was an enjoyable experience there? People think, oh, well, that would have taken the shine off of Stadia. No, that would have helped Stadia because people would have said, oh, in order for you to play this game, you got to get a high-end unit because it's enjoyable on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. But then in contrast, you could say, but Stadia operates like a high-end unit and it doesn't have the high-end sticker price. So can you imagine if you got EA games that are like that people know and love and they're playing on Xbox and they're playing on PlayStation, and then people want to upgrade and they're like, oh, if you want to get the super fizzly, beautiful version, get it on Xbox or PlayStation. But no, you can get it on Stadia, and all you need is access via Chrome and the purchase of the game. I think it's time to get EA and Ubisoft on new hardware now, because then what that does is if you get established with them and you draw on more people there, then you don't get the situation that you get with Outriders, where even though Outriders was buggy across the gate, it's horrible on Stadia. I mean, it's gotten a lot better, but that whole situation was horrible. It was bad elsewhere, but it was horrible on Stadia. You're less likely to run into those situations because now it's more lucrative for people to develop on Stadia earlier. I think even though these are the early years, even though it's a 1% business, I think it's in the best interest of overall growth, because you can't really maximize taking advantage of overall growth if you don't start building for it now. And the best way to build for it now is to get that early support now. And I think you get that by making this just I know it's a low ceiling business, but you make it a little bit more lucrative. Okay. Those are just my thoughts. With that said, I'm going to go to the chat. We want to get your thoughts, and then I'm going to go visit my wife and get my ass kicked. Project Storm says we shouldn't need an external app to get better clarity anyway. I'm impartial to that. Here's why I'm impartial to that. You're taking a risk using these filters. Like, these filters, even though they're great when they work, when they don't work, they can cause widespread problems. So I don't know about that one. So I can see why they don't. I mean, again, the performance is great now on them, but people tinkered and said, okay, well, let me tweak it here and do it here. And it's like overclocking your GPU, or no, your CPU. It's overclocking your CPU, which people don't recommend. You're kind of doing that at a software level in the integrity versus the software when you do that with things like Chrome Enhanced. But people like me are willing to take the risk. The Stadia community is the only community I've seen to care a lot about Ubisoft. Yeah, tell that to their sales. Tell that to UK Aminor, where Far Cry 6 is number 2, next to FIFA, the biggest game over there in Europe. It's right behind FIFA. Stop it. I just wish Xbox had Ubisoft Plus. Not happening, Derek, unfortunately. It's a Game Pass competitor, and Ubisoft is not going to let Game Pass bundle it in. No, it's not happening. I know, Vic, I'm getting my ass kicked. I wouldn't mind seeing Blizzard come to Stadia, and I think to go, oh, great minds think alike. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you something. And then I got to go after a couple more comments. This is, damn, Twisted Barber, I gotta get you on the show, brother. We gotta make something happen. I gotta get you on the show. Me and Tristan had a real great conversation the other day. Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta get you on the show, brother. Other people gotta hear your thoughts. I don't know, hold on. Okay, this is a tweet from Jim in February. He says, I'd like to see Diablo come to Stadia and Blizzard be like, do you guys not have internet? And Sonny says, I'd wet my pants if Diablo came to Stadia. And then me being the doom and gloom, I said, I don't know, fellas. Would be great to see, but I don't think my good friend Quick is sold on Stadia, let alone cloud gaming yet. Would get hella support though. And Mike Ybarro says cloud has a future, and he just left it at that. So I said, but you're saying just not on your radar in the near future. I can dig it. Hey, Mike, we may feel different, but you know I got mad respect for you. Let me see what else did anybody say on that. So everybody was looking at him like, okay. In fact, the underrated comment, yes. So we don't know. We don't know, Twisted. We might see it, but great. I meant to show that earlier. Storm says, I'm 2 at a time. Stadia's good. I don't want it to go elsewhere to play. This is how I feel. This is what I do. What else we got here? Jay Smith says, new features and development tools to help developers. They're already working on that. But I think they need more robust product placement and a more like, bam, product placement. And I think that product placement, Jay, would be come here for your Ubisoft and your EA needs. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's not going to drive everybody to cloud gaming. It still has a lower ceiling. But you got to make those investments in now to when you do put it on a big stage, you'll already have this relationship established. You got to start establishing relationships. And if you're already working in tandem, you got technicians out there tweaking these games on the, making sure that the games are 4K 60 or whatever, and you're seeing significant growth there, and these people can show significant growth to their investors on this new emerging tech via you. That goes a long way in the future. They need to double down, in my mind, on EA and Ubisoft. That's what I'd be doing. Not saying that they have to, or they die, but I think they need to, for the sake of us getting more of what we want now. And I get it's the early years, but I think that could at least be done. 0 gains for me. I get better quality in 1080p using Stadia Enhanced with sharpness set to 5 than using Google TV. And WinStar says I use to force 4K and 1080p monitor, but once I get that 1440p monitor, it really changed and enhanced the experience. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. My wife's going to kick my ass. It's 10 after. With that said, thank y'all so much. I appreciate and love all of y'all. And until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Oh, we're going to end the poll. Poll says, how many of y'all think it's awesome? 56% said yes. 4% said no. 41% said they haven't tried it. Until next time, peace.